I have heard it said that nobody chooses their beliefs, while remaining rational anyway. That belief should just be an impulsive response to data, subconsciously dictated without much choice in the matter. And while this may certainly be the case for some beliefs, it cannot be said for all belief. If, while hanging out at the beach one day, my friend tells me he saw a crab, I would instantly believe him. Seeing a crab at the beach isn't all that uncommon, leaving me without much reason to doubt the testimony of someone I know and trust. In this scenario, my scale of belief may look something like this. The same can be said if my compulsive liar of a neighbor tells me he flew to the moon and back this morning. Only my instantaneous reaction this time would be unbelief rather than belief. In this scenario, my scale of belief may look something like this. These are two instances where belief or unbelief may indeed feel like a knee-jerk reaction, seemingly without much conscious thought or choice in the matter, because the reasons to believe or not believe were so heavily weighted to one side or the other. However, not all beliefs are determined quite so easily like this. Often we find ourselves undecided about something even after intense investigation and scientific scrutiny, where the reasons for belief for or against something end up weighing around the same. For example, if my grandpa, who is well known for his genuine character, honesty, and sound mind, tells me that he saw a gorilla in his backyard today, an immediate conflict in my mind would form between two seemingly contradictory bits of information. First, that my grandpa is indeed both honest and sane, and second, the slim likelihood of a gorilla being in the backyard of a North American suburban home. In this scenario, my scale of belief may look something like this. If my judgment of my grandpa's character weighs around the same as the likelihood of a gorilla appearing in his backyard, then there is no knee-jerk reaction, and no automatically determined belief. Wherever the reasons for belief for or against something weigh around the same, choice is introduced, and all without sacrificing rationality. The decision-making is even free to be influenced or directly determined by subjective means. Because where reason and logic have already been exhausted, that is all we have left. Our intuitions, feelings, emotions, biases, worldviews, appetites, egos, yearnings, hopes, and desires. And again, the subjectivity is totally fine, as long as your feels aren't running around hijacking the decision-making at reason's expense. Like if you convince yourself that a gorilla is a furry friend because it's a comforting belief, you may have a rude awakening because you chose to ignore what repeated observation would have otherwise shown you. In these same areas where belief hasn't been dictated by reason, I've also noticed that many people feel that they must necessarily accept a default position of unbelief about something. This blind skepticism is just another form of blind belief, and may limit one's ability to come closer to truth as much as any other form of blind belief. Not having enough information to unbalance the scales doesn't logically require a default position of unbelief. In fact, one may not rationally rule out any reasonable possibilities unless one has enough reason to do so. It is incidentally in these same areas of choice where our innermost selves are truly manifest. Whether we decide to choose beliefs of optimism over pessimism, faith over faithlessness, or hope over despair.